Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Vincent Tan speaking. This time, I'm going to show you how to install the TNV.
This sharing device into these 5 parts. I have put the corresponding video linkages at the below description area just for your reference. Moreover, I also provide the correct subtitle. Don't forget to turn it on if you need.
First part, condensing pipe connection. First is the condensing pipe material requirement, and we recommend PVC for the condensing water pipe because from the cost and from the performance it is very good for the condensing pipe. And of course you can also use the PPR pipe or the hot dip galvanized steel pipe, and just the cost will be higher. And for the PVC you can just use the special glue just like this. For the connection is okay, but for the PPR only use this one. I will show you a video for your reference how to make this. And that's it. And you can also follow your local code if it in your local area there is some requirements for the plumbing. And here is the results, which also you can find it. It is horizontal and vertical. And also don't forget that it should slide a little bit to ensure it can to ensure the smooth drainage.
Condensing pipe gradient setting. First, let's compare with this diagram. That is the indoor unit with water pump and without water pump. That is drainage with the gravity. So you can find that in the case of with water pump, the condensing water after goes out from the indoor unit, it can go up and then follow this drain pipe for the drainage. As for this gravity drainage, it can only drain out, just follow this condensing pipe. And for this condensing pipe, no matter it is with water pump or without water pump, our requirement is the uh, gradient 1%. Just follow the drainage direction. So you can find that for this case with the water pump, as the condensing pipe can go higher, then follow this direction for the drainage. Then for the narrow ceiling, it's okay. But for this one, just consider the distance or the gradient. So also you need to avoid to touch the girdle. So this condensing pipe just would like to like this, and for the ceiling, it's not that good. And I'll also show you another example for this one. Here is the indoor unit. Here is the drainage main pipe. Question: is this drainage pipe setting is correct or not? The answer is incorrect because the drainage direction is reverse. It should drainage from this side is higher and this side lower. But for this one, it is reverse. And for the drainage pipe join into the main pipe, and the perfect it is of course the from the top or the 90-degree, and acceptable is 45 to 90-degree, and prohibit is horizontal. For this condensing pipe, the gradient is higher than 1%. As for this main pipe, also we require it should higher than 0.3% of the gradient, or just follow your local code.
And here is the hanger distance. And also you know that for the condensing water they also have the distance requirements of it. If it's too much, just like this, What's the consequence is that you can find it. This is the condensing pipe. If too long, it will just make it to be bend due to the gravity. And here is the requirements of it, and according to different size of the drainage pipe, here is the distance requirements for horizontal and vertical. And also the condensing pipe connecting with the indoor unit, here it should be ensured there's no gap. In this case, if there is a crack on it, always it will generate the condensing water. And again, if the condensing water is inside the ceiling, it will become a disaster, right? And also the insulation layer, it should be more than 10 millimeters for the thickness.
I'm going to show you two examples for your better understanding. First, let's focus on this cassette tie indoor unit. So you can find that there is a built-in water pump for auto-sort cassette tie indoor unit, and the condensing water just come out from here and then go up a little bit. Then here is for the regular drainage. Question: why we need to make this a little bit set up a little bit? What is the purpose of it? And the reason it is that there is a built-in water pump and it is only cooled down by the condensing water, which means if it cannot take any condensing water, we're just afraid that maybe, just maybe, sooner or later it will get overburned. So just to avoid it, we also make this structure to guarantee it can always intake some condensing water. And the height of this one is recommend to be 8 to 12 inch. And the second example is this one, which is we make two condensing to join here. Question: is this okay? Actually, I already put this icon here. That means it is NG. The reason it is that if we make the hacking occur and also makes the water drainage not that smooth, we recommend to make it like this structure for this one and this, then join together for better or smooth water drainage. Condensing pipe band setting. For this one, we require to set the band on the drainage pipe, especially on the main pipe. You need to set this band every 6 meters or 20 feet. The reason it is that for the low flow rate, even without this band, we can also guarantee the smooth drainage. However, when we encounter this high condensing water flow rate, and we're just afraid that if there's some air inside, it's easily to become this air pocket. And if this air pocket exists with the high flow rate of the water drainage, this cannot flow smoothly, and then it will become overflow from the indoor unit. We just need to avoid this one, so to require this air band. And for this air band, also this is NG because there's no cover. We're just afraid that or no elbow. Maybe the burst on the dust can getting inside, which may damage or stuck at this water drainage tube. Indoor unit, if you have checked all the water drainage and also the insulation is still good, but in this diagram you can find that there's still water leakage from this cassette tie indoor unit, right? And the reason is after we check, we find that the inside in the drain pan is very dirty. Lots of this one to be specified. We find that this water drain pipe is clogged, and the clogged reason is the bacteria abundance. And this phenomenon is severe in high humidity summer. To fix this one, for the severe clog, recommend to use this clog remover. Then you can make it to dredge. If it is just a regular clog, you can use the vacuum or the compressed air or even the R48 just to flush the condensing tube. And the prevent solution is you can use this kind of the material, just put it at the drain pan, then it can just eliminate this bacteria or to prevent this bacteria inside. One of these can insist or can hold for 1 year. This slide, I will show you a video, and on this video, you can find that the copper tube inside this indoor unit is already become black color. Do we have a black color copper tube? Actually, it is not a black color copper tube, but just due to the corrosive, and it is just the corrosive gas which is from the toilet or the seesaw, then it flow to this copper tube and become this fused material. And it can also easily to identify by the smell, which means when you make the indoor fan to operate, you can easily to feel or to smell the or the, and also we make a SEM for this leakage. You can find it here is some leakage from here, and the case it is this corrosion is from outside, which means this material can corrode the copper tube and leads to the inside refrigerant leakage. And our solution it is for the drainage destination, never conduct it to the soap pipe or even to the toilet. And meanwhile, also attention to conduct this drainage to the water or to the drain. Just afraid maybe there are too much water to backflow to this indoor unit and make it to overflow from inside of the indoor unit. And the solution is you can just make it like this one, make a U-trap to check the corrosive gas, or apply this trap well. This is recommended to stop the trap to stop the corrosive gas from backflow. Either horizontal or vertical is okay.
And the next is connecting to the indoor unit, and we need to use a soft hose to avoid the vibration conduction, which is from the indoor unit to the condensing water pipe line. Just use just like this one to avoid this, and also to ensure that there's no gap with the installation. And on this case, you can find it there's no soft hose connection, which means this vibration of the indoor unit conduct to the pipeline system, and sooner or later, just maybe it will make it to be crack. And also for this one, we are not allowed to use any group, just use this crack to connect to the indoor hose, because we're just afraid that this glue may just damage or make corrosion to the to this, which means sooner or later this will be corrosion and leads to the water leakage. And also this should you do the installation, and here is just the recommend methods for your reference how to do it. And also you can find it first at this one, we need to put some text on the joints, And then for lubrication, you can apply the detergent and then put on the insulation from this end, and then pick it up here just like this.
Is the summary of all the water drainage setting. Just follow these 5 steps, then you can finish the drainage setting. And at the last is the water flow test, including 2. One is the drainage test. This is just to check whether the water pump can flow out the condensing water smoothly or not. Actually, when you power on, make it to be power on, it will, and also turn on the induct unit, then C0 means the communication error will comes out, but the water pump will run for 10 minutes. As for the food water text, you can check that here is drainage to the a bucket, and here we just make it to not flow. This is to check whether there's some water leakage from the drain pipe. Meanwhile, for this water, also to guarantee the water quality, because we're just afraid maybe if the low quality water also will cross this copper tube. Just pay attention to this, it's okay. That's all for this sharing. If you still have any other question or any other suggestion, feel free to send me to my email address. Meanwhile, you can also scan this QR code to access the sharing. Hasta la próxima. それではまた今度。